In this screencast, we cover the file system. First, I want to quickly cover file names. File names can have spaces in them, but will take a little extra effort to work with them. The space must be escaped because of the way the command line works and interprets spaces. A space can be escaped by preceding it with a backslash character or enclosing the whole name in quotes. Let's take a look at an example. Create a file using touch with the name mycoursework.txt with a space between my and coursework. Now use ls to display your files. Now use vi to edit the file using a space, or a backslash to escape the space. Now try using vi to edit the file without escaping the space. Exit the file and see what happens. And why did vi stay open? It stayed open because it was open with two files, one called my and one called coursework. You can separate multiple files with a space when you use vi to open them. Hidden files are any files that start with a period. You can see hidden files by using the -a option with ls. Now let's create a hidden file and see. Run vim.shane and put some text in there. Now run ls. And what do you see? Now run ls-a, and what do you see? You should have seen the hidden file with the ls-a option. Many configuration files are hidden files in Linux. Now let's look at the most important topic, path names. In Unix, there are two types of path names, absolute and relative. They are commonly confused, but don't need to be if you take a little time to learn about them. They are so important because everything you do at the command line involves them. Virtually every command will require using them correctly. Absolute path names are the most specific way of getting to a location in the file system. They specify the exact location from root all the way to a file or folder. The absolute path name should be easy to remember because it always starts with root, which is a /. Let's look at some examples. For this example, I'm not on the student server, but my home computer. So the directory structure will look a little different than previous examples, but more like yours on your own installed system. First, let's see the absolute path to where we are using ls. pwd will give us that. Now create a directory called path names using an absolute path. mkdir and then the path name. Use tab complete to verify you're using the correct path and ease the typing load. Remember, tab complete is your friend. Change directory into path names, again using an absolute path. cd home shane t path names. Now let's talk about relative path names. I like to think of these as redneck directions. Sometimes it is easier to give directions based on your relative position, and this is what relative path names are all about. They never give a fully specified path from root because we already said that was an absolute path name. Instead, their path names are always relative to the current working directory. This is why the working directory is so important. The first example will be files or directories in the current directory. Just specify them with no path at all, because they're in the current working directory. Here are a few examples. Create a directory in the current working directory using makedir thing1. Now create thing2 and thing3. Now create a file in the working dir called onefish.txt and another twofish.txt. We created all these using relative paths. Relative path names allow us to specify going into a subdirectory too. Try touch thing1/red_fish.txt to create a file inside thing1 directory without changing directories. Let's verify using ls on thing1, again using a relative path. Now let's look at using relative path names to go backwards into a directory one level up in the file path. Change directories into thing1 with cd thing1. Now, to look at the path names directory, run ls .. to see everything in the directory one level above your working directory, which is path names. You can use a combination of .. slashes to go backward additional directories. For example, ls .. would show the contents of whatever is two directories above your current location. To test this out, create the directory cat in our thing1 directory. Make dir cat, then go into it with cdcat. Now run ls .. and we should see the contents of the path names directory. Since almost all utilities take a path name as input, it's really important to get comfortable with relative and absolute path names. Let's do some sample problems. To move files using the mv utility, you need to specify both the source and destination directory. A quick check of the man page will verify that and confirm that they need to be specified in that order. If we are working in the thing1 directory and we need to move the directory cat to the directory path names using a relative path for the source and an absolute for the destination, it will look like this: mv cat /home/shane/t/path names, because the cat directory is inside our working dir and the destination requires an absolute path. One more path name to review is actually just a shortcut. The tilde refers to your home directory. When you enter a path name with starting with the tilde, that will expand out to the full absolute path of your home directory. That means this becomes an absolute path. If you wanted to go into your home directory, download subdirectory, you could type cd /downloads and you would go there. Verify with a pwd command.